So today we're going to take a little road trip to Burkburnett, Texas. I've talked about Burke a little bit. We don't really have suburbs, but we do have suburbs. So it's a suburb of Wichita Falls. It's just north of Wichita Falls. It's really close to the base. So for those of you that are military thinking of moving here, that's a great location to think about where you might want to live. So stay tuned. It's another road trip. Me without no makeup. Without no makeup? With makeup. Without makeup. No makeup. I'm getting used to this, so that might not be a good thing. Anyways, stay tuned. We're getting started right now. So today I wanted to give you a little road trip to Burkburnett. So it's one of those places that would be considered a suburb of Wichita Falls. And we're starting out by the base, which is where I live. So we're driving down Missile Road, and I wanted to just show you how close Burkburnett is. It's a cute little town, not a lot of people at all, but we call it a bedroom community because most people that live there just stay there and don't do a lot of their shopping there, although they do have a grocery store and a few other businesses. But what's important is how quick it is to get there. So it is 10:35. I'm going to have my editor speed this up when we get on the freeway. So I'm not going to bore you with the freeway necessarily. I'll give you a little hint of what it is. We get straight on the freeway. The DPS is right there, which is where you get your driver's license. And this is literally less than 10 minutes from Missile Road or the base itself. So I'm going to just hop on this freeway, the 44. So the previous video that I did with the road trip was the 44 going the opposite direction. This is going towards Oklahoma. So literally Oklahoma is just 3 miles past Burke. So you can hit a rock and throw Oklahoma. And it's nothing a whole lot to see on this little route to Oklahoma. But what I want to do is just speed this up so that you can see how long it takes to get to the major off-ramps in Burke, and then we'll drive around Burke for a little bit. So let me speed this up. So you can see right here is the sign for the city limits of Burke, which took approximately 2 or 3 minutes just to get to this far. And you probably noticed there's some pastures out here. It's actually very lovely. It's very country, even though it's a little tiny city and it's got neighborhoods. It's very country. Oops, that's not how I drive. So the first off-ramp you can see is Daniels Road. So if we take Daniels Road, I'm going to wind around and come back on through Daniels Road, but the main town, if you want to call it that, is up here a couple of more off ramps. So they have some industry over here, and once again, it's winter, so everything's not got leaves, which is fabulous. Don't think that that's how it is all the time. And you know what I like to tell people is you're so close, especially if you're looking for property by the base or your military, or anywhere for that matter, just be away from Wichita Falls. So as a real estate agent, I know how important it is for people to have acreage so many times especially when they come from out of state. So I love directing them to Burke because there's a lot of houses with acreage. Also keep in mind that Burke is considered part of Wichita County. That being said, the property taxes are a little skosh higher, so we have some other areas that aren't in Wichita County that have acreage, and that's something that I'll do on another video. But just know that I really love sharing about this community to people that are not from here or are planning on coming here, because it's just such a little nugget and slice of the world that you can't get anywhere else. And it is not everyone's cup of tea, I will tell you that, but it is a lot of people's cup of tea. So what we're coming up on here is we're starting to see, when you drive through a town, you see these exit signs with the gas stations and the food, etc. So now we're in more or less Burke proper, if you will. Off the freeway, you can see where Burke is. And this 240 exit says Burkburnett. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off here real quick. There's a couple more off ramps up that way, and I'll show you more of what we call Old Town Burke. It's actually, that's the designation of the neighborhood. But you can see that they have enough. It's not as if you're isolated from the rest of the world. It's no Walmart. Walmart's just 10 minutes that direction where we just came from. So that's kind of one of those things that people like to know for shopping. But they do have a United grocery store here, which is fabulous. So you don't have to drive very far if you need a cup of milk or something. It's not that far out. I know people think, oh, rural, what am I going to do? But it has neighborhoods over that direction, which I'm not going to go that way. That's all neighborhoods. There's no business over there. But we come down here, and as I said, you've got, a cute little elephant there. You come down here, and it's a thriving little town. I mean, they've got a car dealership, so that's always an indication that something's happening. I love the Chevy dealership because if you look at the printing on that Chevy dealership name, that is what an old Chevrolet looks like, if you've ever owned an old Chevrolet. So we basically, off to the left, we saw all of the things from the freeway, and so you just come down here into Burke, and it's, Burke has some, just like Wichita, it's got some really high-end areas, and it has some not so high-end areas. So I will tell you that you just need to have a great real estate agent that knows the community, so can direct you for exactly what you're looking for. Because I've sold houses in Burke for $50,000, and I've sold them for $350,000. So Burke has great little neighborhoods, but once again, I'm not sorry. It's winter time, and so everything looks a little less happy, but that's winter. So we're coming down this main thoroughfare, and these are not the most spectacular houses on this particular street, but I'm going to drive down a couple of neighborhoods here. G&H is one of the real estate agents in Burke. If you want a local realtor, he's a great guy too. So I love him, and I never tell anybody you have to use me, because maybe I'm not your cup of tea, which is perfectly fine. So they've got a little Mexican restaurant here. They've got business for various things, whether you need to get an oil and lube change. You've got gas stations are all over the town. And I wanted to get up here a little bit because this is where the supermarket is. So you can see that you're just a hop, skip, and a jump from the freeway to get to the supermarket itself. And it's a relatively normal. It's a normal supermarket. And as we come around the corner, Burke has its own school district. That's why the taxes are a little bit higher, because of the Burke ISD. So they have a high school, and they have a junior high, and they have a middle school. And John Tower is right outside of the base, so it's got a great reputation. So you can see, we're just going to pop in so you can see. Here's the grocery store, and it's a good grocery store. I shop at United. That's where I shop in Wichita. So an area like a Henrietta, which we'll do a video on that later, they've got a grocery store, and it's very, very rural and local. So it gets a little challenging to get any of the special brands and things that you want to get. But we'll go just jump around a little bit in Burke and see a couple of neighborhoods that you might have an idea. So here's Burkburnett Middle School. You can see the middle school right there. I hate driving like this with this dash cam because it doesn't have good peripheral vision. Family Dollar, which is on every corner apparently. And the Burke School District is a really good school district. So people actually try to get their kids into Burke School District because they love it so much. Okay, so this is basically Old Town Burke. So Burkburnett was the site of the Boomtown. So if you ever watched the movie Boomtown, or you just understand the oil Boomtown, was where the oil was originally. It was actually found in Electra, and Burkburnett had so much oil, it was crazy. So I'm just going to go up and down this main street, and it's just like any other town. They need a little vitalization. So maybe you're the person that wants to move here and be the new ambassador for Burke, to bring back some of this amazing history that we have here, because Burke really was, well, a lot of these oil towns were, but this is our little downtown for Burke. I did a video for Wichita Falls downtown, and it's not dead by any means, but it could use a little just saying. And so look at this building. Oh, I love brick. You know how much I love the brick. I would love to do something with that building. And then so this is old downtown Burke, which is really cool because it's got so much history. There's another really cool building. That's an antique building right there. But how fun is that? As I said, this is just a bedroom community. People come here to be a little bit away from things. They've got this cool grain elevator. Oh my gosh, I just love so much stuff here. And then, oh my gosh, so this... It's such a this is the train depot right here, and I'm going the wrong way on this. But this is a great place for photo ops. And they're doing something here, which I really would love to know what that is. Are they selling Girl Scout cookies? Oh, looks like they're selling Girl Scout cookies. Is it really time for Girl Scout cookies? So I just want to turn around one more time and see this train depot. I have a great picture, maybe I can find it, to pop in here when I was sick. This is one of the places I came to do a photo op. Because it's got so much history and it's so eclectic. And I hope you're not dizzy from doing that. And then we're going to go into some of these older neighborhoods. Now look at this part right here is really old houses, and some of them are not well maintained. This is not indicative of all of Burke. Just like when I did my other video on the 44 the other day, going on the 44 is not indicative of actually going to Wichita. So we just got off at Glendale in Burke, and it's one of the farthest off ramps out before you get to Oklahoma. And there is a builder's supply here. There's great, it's called Care Plus. There's Subway in that shopping center too. Care Plus for United Regional. So there's no hospital in Burke, but there is a Care Plus clinic, which is really nice to have so conveniently here. I actually go to that Care Plus because I'm by the base, and it's 10 minutes here, and it's a much shorter waiting time. So that's good news. They have mostly nurse practitioners there, but they're fantastic. I love a nurse practitioner over a doctor any day. But what we're doing is we're coming down. I'm going to go to some of the neighborhoods that are part of that old town, Burkburnett. I love this intersection. It's like whoop. And then we're going to pop over just to see some of the older neighborhoods. As I said, it's called Old Town Burke. Technically, the neighborhood is. Like I said, Burke was the home of Boomtown. So you get to see things that maybe you don't see everywhere else, which is a pump jack right there in the middle of town on somebody's land. I can smell the oil as I go by. And most of the time when you buy property, you don't get the oil right. So that's one of the things that people look for a lot of times. This is not the most attractive road, but you can see right there, they're building a new building. So there's, and he's put in a shop rental. So there's activity going on both in Wichita and in Burke. And I think it's important just to be reminded that life is continually changing and growing and becoming more than what it was the day before. And if you think that it's stagnant, well, that's a mindset. So I'm going to just drive through this neighborhood because it's one of those neighborhoods, like I said, that's old. It's not very expensive. It's got some older classic homes. It's not considered a historic district per se in Burke, But, and this, right now, it's wintertime. This street is all tree lined, which is so fabulous. Now, this house right here, right there, I sold that twice. This house next door to it has basically been condemned, but somebody's going to come in and fix up that house. And it's vacant, so it's not causing any problems in the neighborhood. As I said, when it's spring and summer and it's all the trees are in bloom, it looks so lovely. I mean, it really just, and you have that view out towards the hospital in Wichita. It's just one of those things that it's a neighborhood that families live in, people that some of them don't have a ton of money, but at the end of the day, some of these houses are really great for investment. But you get back over here and you're into real country, and then you can find some acreage out here, and it's just, there's farmland as far as you can see. So, and as I said, this is unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, there's not a lot of green because it's wintertime. Okay, so we're in the upscale part of town, if you will, of Burke, not where all the property is, but you can see right in front of me is the high school. So I'm going to just pop in here real quick just so you can see it. There's a car behind me. And then around here, there's a great park, and they have a water park here as well. So it's just, Burke has got a lot of things. It just doesn't have a lot of shopping. So we're going to go down to where I would say a lot of the military people find houses, because they're neighborhoods that have brick homes, they're newer, that sort of thing. We've got a Boys and Girls Club here. A huge gymnasium at that school. But I want to just take a quick little run of this neighborhood so you get a general idea of the houses that are in Burke that are not of the older version. Like I said, Burke it's just a small community, and it's got a little of everything. Upscale, downscale, in between scale. Oh, kids are out. What time is it? 12:30? Oh, must be lunchtime. And this is actually, this street I'm going to turn on here is called Jan Lee. And my brother, actually, this was, I think, one of their first houses when they moved here. Oh, where's my Jan Lee? Archie, coming up. And it's just one of the loveliest neighborhoods. As I said, they're just brick houses, very much like the houses in the neighborhood by the base where I live. So, and Brian's Plumbing is everywhere all the time. It's the biggest plumbing company in Wichita Falls, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I've never actually researched that, but given the fact of where their location is, and that was in my downtown video, you saw where Brian's is. But these houses, as I said, they're all brick. Ooh, this looks like a great fixer-upper. So this is a really big house right here. And these are all kind of ranch, rambling houses. And it's a very lovely neighborhood. And when it's green, it just looks very, very pretty. And just, these are 70s, 80s, 90s houses. Lovely house with that porch right there. But this is very similar to everything you will see in this neighborhood, from Jan Lee to Kiowa and in between. And just to give you a little taste of what the neighborhood is like, so I'm going to zip over this way. And it's very close. This is farther, or excuse me, closer to the base. So literally living in this neighborhood, you'd be in the base if you were stationed there or close by that in less than 10 minutes. There's some, actually I'm going to go down here because there's newer houses down here, even newer than new. Because there is a lot of areas where they're building in Burke just like everywhere else because of the housing shortage. So you can see that's a very recently, probably less than 10 years old, that house. And look at these. Oh, these are all newer. So you've got some really great neighborhoods in Burke, and these look like 0 lot lines. They're so close together. So that's something if you're interested in that. But all of these are the newer models of homes, so you're going to get all your updates that you're looking for if you're in the market for a newer home. And they once again, there's a whole area, and I'm going to just attach a snippet of a video of a house that I sold on a place called Grisham Road, where I think she had 25 acres. But you can get a few acres, a lot of acres, whatever you're looking for. This basically concludes our Burke tour. But I really wanted to let you know that there are so many great places in Wichita Falls and the surrounding areas to live, to play, to shop, and they're all so close. And of course, we have no traffic. And if you're interested in learning more about any of these areas, or you want to move here and you need a great realtor or mortgage person, hello. I have 2 more videos coming up, and as I always say, y'all come back now. But if you want to have a Zoom meeting with me, in the first comments below, there's a link, and I encourage you to go ahead and schedule one. Bye-bye.